Hello, my name is Lexa. I wanted to say thanks for watching my dad's channel, StraitjacketWhiteRabbit. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more videos if you like what you see.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and thanks for joining me on another episode of Straight Jacket White Rabbit. I'm your host, Adam, and today we're going to be taking you down the rabbit hole with a deeper look into zombies. Specifically, every type of zombie that we find. I mean, they're all over the place, you guys. We've got zombies from horror that are like the classic rise from your grave zombies. We've got viral infected zombies, radioactive zombies. We've got zombies that are created through magic. We've got zombies that are created through medicine and vaccines and different types of gene manipulation. There's the zombie lore in our country and other countries around the world are very long-standing stories. These stories have been told for hundreds of years, just depending on where you look. Haiti, one of the most reputable countries, most people know about Haitian zombies, you guys, where a voodoo priest or witch doctor will put people under a medical-induced, I'll call it, catatonic almost state where their mind is very malleable. They have no free will of their own, basically. They'll do what they're told. They'll act as if they're in a fog, a trance, some kind of mindless state. Now, are they the classic tear your flesh off and eat your face zombies? No. But they're so malleable, guys, that they will do things to even harm themselves when asked. So who's to say you couldn't make one of these zombies, the Haitian voodoo zombies, and have them attack other people? There have been claims against this in Haiti, you guys. They actually have laws against making zombies or making zombies attack people. Well, they have laws against both, but there are actual laws on the books about this in parts of the world, you guys. And that's not the only way to make zombies. There are ways through drugs. There are ways through various means to create a zombie-like creature. Now, ants have a zombie fungus. If you've never heard of this, look it up. It's really creepy stuff. Ants have a zombie fungus that will basically infect an ant, spread through its body, take over its brain and its motor control. And then they will have it go to the highest point it can near the colony of ants, where the fungus will grow and grow and grow until it's ready to pop, and then it bursts out of this ant's skull. And all these other little particles of fungus come down and they infect the other ants. And this is how this fungus spreads. It literally just infects these ants, and it puts them into a zombie-like state where they are controlled by this fungus. Who's to say this couldn't cross a species barrier, you guys? I mean, how freaking crazy would it be if we had like the Last of Us apocalypse happening with these plant zombies? I mean, can you imagine watching people climb up to the top of a 40-story building and then their heads just pop and you see all this pollinated stuff coming down that you know is going to infect everybody around you? I mean, these types of things happen inside the insect world. This is something that actually happens to ants. Now, I know people are like, well, so what? It's an ant. Lots of things on this planet cross a species barrier, okay? Just because the fungus can't do it to us currently because our bodies are not ideal as far as temperature and the complicated system that we have of, you know, our actual biology. Our internal systems as humans is vastly more complex. But who's to say that this zombie fungus doesn't evolve to a type of fungus that can infect us? Or who's to say there's not already one we just haven't found, you guys? We are not the end-all be-all of this planet. We have not explored everything on this planet. We come up with new species of animals every day. Plant life we come up with more often than that. So who's to say we just haven't found a type of fungus that can do this to us yet? And I mean, think about it. It wouldn't take a whole lot to turn what that fungus does to ants into something a lot closer to what we believe zombies are in humans. What if when this thing infects a human brain, it makes you act differently? What if it triggers aggression or your adrenal glands to cause strength? You know, rabies can make you afraid of the water, a virus, you guys. Most people don't know this. The rabies virus will actually cause a fear of water in the people it infects and the animals it infects because the rabies virus can't survive in it. So it makes the people and animals and everything else scared of water. If it can make you scared of something, it can sure make you angry. A virus can absolutely infect you and make you angry. It can make you to the point of being irrationally hostile, which, let's face it, that's what zombies are. Now you add in, you know, a thirst for blood or any other number of different, we'll call them symptoms that you could give these things. There's possibilities of this in a lot of different ways. Like I said, be it from fungus or bacteria or viruses or man-made different pharmaceuticals. Throughout history, there's been a lot of talk of ways that zombies could come about. But there hasn't been a lot of talk from people, or at least not realistically, about what you would do in the event of a worldwide pandemic, like a zombie apocalypse. Now, I understand that the world faces many, many threats, and there's a lot of different ways our world can end, you guys, and zombie apocalypse is probably not on the most likely end of that. I understand that. But because it's not on the most likely end of something that's going to happen, does not mean it's not possible or something that will happen. We've already, I mean, think about all the things we mess around with as humans. Remember the COVID virus, not that many years ago, guys, was ravaging our entire world. It was infecting people left and right. Everyone was scared to death. And that was a man-made virus. We knew darn well where it came from. It's coming out now. We knew where it came from. We lied about it at first. But that was a man-made virus, you guys, that came out of a secure disease lab, a research lab for disease. Okay, this is like our Plum Island here. If they're working on dangerous stuff like that in those labs, you can only imagine what DARPA or the Department of Defense or any of these other alphabet agencies are working on. And I guarantee you there's stuff out there they're working on that is a lot nastier than COVID-19. Now, that being said, is a zombie apocalypse possible? Absolutely. Is it probable? Maybe. How would you defend against the zombie apocalypse is a question I get asked a lot. And you guys, I will do a dive video on apocalypse situations at some point. But the problem with answering that question is it really kind of depends on what kind of zombies you're talking about. What's the situation? Is most of the planet been infected? Are they fast moving? Are they slow moving? Are they reanimated dead people? Can you kill them only by shooting them in the head and killing or disconnecting the brainstem? There's a lot of different questions about zombie apocalypse, and we will never have a great answer until you can give a specific scenario. So if a zombie apocalypse broke out tomorrow, and, you know, we knew what kind of zombies we were dealing with, yes, then you can make your plan. I tell everyone this, okay, no matter what apocalyptic scenario you're planning for, plan to not have a plan. Plan to be ready for anything, because situations change and your availability and your ability, to pivot is extremely important, you guys. It's life or death stuff. Being able to pivot on a dime to the evolving situation around you is going to be the difference between who makes it and who doesn't. That, besides the necessary water, shelter, food, fire. These are all things people need. And sad as it is to say, if a zombie apocalypse breaks out, 80% plus of the world's population is not going to make it, you guys. I love everybody, or I try to, but the sad facts is most people nowadays can't start a fire without matches or a lighter. Most people now can't kill and gut their own food, can't clean their own food, can't even grow their own food. We've become a nation of well-meaning idiots in a lot of sense. And I'm not saying all of us are. There are people like me and my brother and others who are prepared for things like this if it goes south. But a lot of people aren't, you guys. And here's the thing you got to remember. Zombies are one thing. I'm going to count in another class, okay, which is end of the world apocalypse cannibals. You guys, they're not zombies, but I'm talking cannibalistic people. There's gonna be stuff like this. And if there's already a zombie apocalypse going on, it's gonna be even worse. Now, a lot of people give me flack for believing in zombies in any way, shape, or form, but I'm telling you right now, there are historical examples of this. Medically induced zombie people. There are historical examples of diseases that do things we thought were impossible to the human body. Am I saying that there's been a disease that brings people back from the dead? Not that I'm aware of, but there could be. And a disease, like I said, viruses evolve every day. Do you know why you have to get a flu shot every year? Because it evolves that often. I don't participate in the flu shots because I don't necessarily believe in most vaccines. I do believe that some vaccinations work, yes, but I believe a lot of the vaccines that we're given are basically untested drugs, and we're kind of the, that we're kind of the test pilots for those that our government uses. I don't trust pharmaceutical companies, but on the other hand, what are options? We humans have lost touch with nature. We don't know how to make our own medicine anymore. So all of that being said, you guys, zombie apocalypses can happen, and I want to point out something that a lot of people discredited, but this is an actual declassified document, and I'm going to walk you through some of it right now, that the U.S. government made to help train its soldiers in their words. I believe it was for critical thinking purposes and mission planning. The U.S. government back in 2011 initiated an operation called Plan 8888. Plan 8888 is a military exercise for training purposes that denotes several different types of zombie incursions as an apocalyptic situation. Basically, a zombie apocalypse and how to respond. Now, the military's logic behind this was, it's a fun way to get them involved in strategic planning and things without offending other nations by using the threat of saying it was a North Korean enemy, or it was a Chinese enemy, or it was a Russian enemy. Oh, look, no, we're just practicing against a zombie incursion. I do not believe this official explanation, you guys. I believe that we've already made said viruses, just like other ones we've made that we don't really discuss. Okay, I mean, look at COVID-19. It wasn't even a few months after COVID-19 hit the U.S. when there were colleges bragging that they had now made a COVID variant that was 100% lethal. It had a 100% mortality rate. Humans can't stand not to be messing with things. And I guarantee you our government has already looked into this, or has already completed it, or is doing so now. But Plan 8888 was an actual drawn up thing. Now, I'm going to skip to page 6 of this document because there's something I want to read to you guys real quick. This talks about the zombie threat summary. Zombie threat summary, first off, was the regular zombies. Then you have something called pathogenic zombies. Pathogenic zombies are life forms created after an organism is infected by a virus or bacteria, some other form of contagion. Radiation zombies, next one they have on this list. This is the US government, guys. Radiation zombies, or RZs, are zombie life forms created after an organism is infected by an extreme dosage of electromagnetic and or particle radiation. You figure for a training exercise, why would you need multiple types of zombies? But they continue. We're not done yet. I couldn't make this up if I tried, guys. The next type in this actual, that I'm reading the actual declassified document, is evil magic zombies. That's exactly how it's printed. Evil magic zombies, or EMZs, are zombie life forms created via some form of occult experimentation in what might otherwise be referred to as evil magic. You already have the radiation zombies. You already have the virus zombies. I'm reading a little more into this than a typical person might, and follow me just here for a second down my crazy rabbit hole. Why would you have evil magic zombies if normal people don't really acknowledge magic? See, I acknowledge magic. I believe there's magic in this world. I believe it's been, I'm not going to say it's been lost. The keys to access said magic have been majorly lost to us. But I do believe in magic. I do believe in lots of different types of magic. I believe in black magic. I believe in voodoo. I believe in spell work. I believe in curses. They talk about these things throughout history. These aren't fake. Now, the reason I bring this up is why the U.S. military would feel the need to include just magic zombies into this. And I want to read you the next one too, so I'll get into that. But magic zombies to me just kind of strikes me as something weird. It's weird enough the military's talking about a zombie apocalypse, but then you have them giving specific types of zombies, and I mean like thoroughly specific. You know, we have the regular ones, we've got the infecteds, we've got the radiation, now we've got evil magic zombies. Next up is space zombies. SZs, or space zombies, are zombie life forms originating from space or created by toxic contamination of the Earth environment via some sort of extraterrestrial toxin or radiation. Okay, now that one's a little vague, and it talks about some form of toxic, stuff like toxin or radiation. But there have been research into these fields that certain types of radiation and certain types of toxins that are mixed together and combined could have the desired effect, I'll say, of turning normal people. Now, I'm not talking about killing you and bringing you back to life. I'm talking about turning you into an effective, mindless, violent cannibal, basically. What we think of as zombies, but they're not. That you wouldn't feel pain. You'd be ultra aggressive. You might be ultra strong, depending on if it affects your adrenal glands. But it goes on. Believe it or not, the list is actually longer. We're going to get into some more of these. Now, after space zombies, you also underneath have a little subsection. It's not the next category, but a little subsection of space zombies. It says zombie satellites. Zombie satellites can be classified SZs. However, they pose no danger to humans unless they conduct an unplanned deorbit. Typically, zombie satellites only pose a threat. The SATCOM services like DirecTV refer to Galaxy 15 incident May of 2010. So, not too worried about that one. We'll move on to the next one. Weaponized zombies. WZs, or weaponized zombies, are zombie life forms deliberately created via bio or biomechanical engineering for the purpose of being employed as weapons. Zombie weaponization programs and supporting infrastructures are included in the COAs to deal with these threats. Subsection. The movie The Crazies exemplifies the most common type of WZ, humans turned into zombies, via exposure to toxic chemicals or gases. This gets really specific for a military ops that's just supposed to be a fun way to come up with creative strategy on how to take out zombies. And people can argue, well, they give you more variables so that you have more things to think about in creative strategy planning. But take it from me, the military doesn't do something unless it has a military application, and a military mindset is war. Okay, you can call it what you want. That's what the military is there for. They're not just there for defense. The military mindset is for war, which means we've thought about using these or creating these if we have not already. So moving on to the next one, and I know this list is getting long, but hear me out. The next one says symbiont-induced zombies, SIZs. SIZs are zombie life forms originating from the introduction of a symbiont life form into an otherwise healthy host. Although the symptoms of symbiont zombieism is similar in most regards to pathogenic zombieism, the symbiont does not kill the host organism quickly or at all. However, there is no known way to save an organism after zombieism has occurred, even if the symbiont is removed. They're talking, like I said, once again, in really deep specifics, which is kind of worrisome. Now, they go on more, and it gets a little more ridiculous as you get down the line. The last ones are the vegetarian zombies, like people who've been infected who just go through and can't stop eating vegetation. Other than massive deforestation or other things like that they're talking about on here, not really something I'm worried about. Now, this one says chicken zombies, and people laugh when you hear chicken zombies. I mean, who's scared of a chicken? But animals having a zombie virus could be a very scary thing. Animals outnumber us a lot. People don't understand this, man. You live on a planet where the animal and insect population on this world outnumbers us by trillions and trillions of species and individual friggin' insects and bugs and mammals and reptiles and everything else. So if there's a any kind of zombie virus that's affecting animals, I want to know about it. Because as I've said before, viruses do what? They jump barriers, they evolve, they mutate. That's what they do. So while we're talking about all these zombies and things, it goes on in this thing later on to talk about environmental effects, legal considerations, and then active planning, where they give the planned branch, what type of the military. It goes on to phase 0, phase 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to phase 5. Phase 5 is restore civil authority. Phase 4 is stabilize. 3 is dominate. 2 is seize the initiative. 1 is deter. 0 is shape. There's a plan in lieu for each one of these types of zombies. And you read through this list, and I mean, they have got it down. Space operations, pandemic influenzas, different types of viruses that they could release that might kill these zombies. Now, do I believe that our government is going to purposefully create a zombie apocalypse? No. Not currently. Do I believe we have the means to? I absolutely believe, via mind control, via medicines, via different viruses. I absolutely believe they have the ability to start a zombie apocalypse whenever they wanted to, whether it's be by accident or not. But I just want to bring this to the attention. If you guys have never heard of this document or you want to read it, I can't read anymore. There's a lot of pages. I think it's over 30-something pages. It's called Con Plan 8888. Look it up online. And like I said, their official explanation is it helps with critical thinking and mission planning and things like that, which I'm okay with. But it makes you wonder why they went into such great detail and only about certain types of zombies. I mean, there's other types. They didn't go into those. Now, if a zombie apocalypse were to break out, like I said, there's a lot of different variables, guys, on surviving. But I'm going to tell you right now, The best survival anyone out there can do is going to be, number one, learn how to take care of yourself and your family via the main essentials, which are fire, shelter, water. If you can't make or produce those in a regular outdoors environment, you need to learn. Because zombie apocalypses aren't the only type of apocalypses, guys. We are going to near the end times very, very soon if we are not already in them, which some of us believe we are. You need to be able to make fire. You need to be able to purify and collect water. And you need to know how to make a shelter. Make a shelter. Yes, I'm aware we live in the time where there's tons of buildings and apartments and everything else. But if an apocalyptic situation happens, I guarantee you the last place you're going to want to be is in the middle of a city. Learn to make shelter, learn to make fire, learn to treat, boil, and collect your water. Know your water sources, where they're at, where they run from in case they get contaminated, so you can get them from the source of the spring or whatever it is that you're near. Learn how to make a desalinator, guys, to make fresh water out of ocean water. Lots of different things like that will keep you safe. This is the knowledge that me and my brother have. We both know a lot of things about survival in the wilderness, how to survive on bare minimum and grow your resources. Zombie apocalypse is a real possibility on this planet. And if you don't think it is, like I said, look at the signs. Look at the things that our own country has admitted to creating in virus labs. Look at our own country's Con Plan 8888. Okay? If they haven't made it already, they're going to. Are you going to survive the zombie apocalypse? Because I know me and my brother and my family will. We've got the means, we've got the tools, we've got the know-how. Fight for humanity. If the world starts to end, remember, you guys, we're all that's left. And there's going to be bad people and there's going to be good people, just like there always are. So the people of who are the good people in this world, we need to stick together if this stuff happens. Any apocalypse, not just a zombie apocalypse. But you also need to be wary, because people cannot always be trusted. So be smart, stay on your toes, and until next time, this is Adam with Straight Jacket White Rabbit saying, stay safe.